Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.
Hey, what's good, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Wire Sports Media. This is your Saturday Vibe edition. So, I had a video that I want to do. It was more about the CBA with Cathy Engelbert and the history and what has happened since the time she got with the CBA. But I'm going to switch gears because I'm gonna save that video for tomorrow. Because there's a lot of information to unpack, and I really want people to understand. I could say this for this point. From what I have read from the last CBA agreement and what they have give them, I think these players are very delusional of what they're trying to get. And like I said, I will clarify that more tomorrow because I want y'all to understand, once I lay out both sides of the information and tell you what was offered to the players and they turn it down, then I think it's not going to end the way they want to, because I don't see the league giving them any more than what they offer them. And they might hike up a little bit more of an incentive, but I don't see them getting any more. And you'll be shocked how much what they had offered them and what they turned down. To me, I think it's more of greed of these players. But anyway, I want to talk about Cathy and her part of her interview, or what she has said about her and Napheesa Collier. We already went over that with Napheesa Collier. I did 2 videos, and I could tell you where I stand on it. Again, she lied. Napheesa lied. People people say, oh, well, Cathy's going to be out. Cathy is not going anywhere. She's not. And this is the reason why she's not going nowhere. She is there to make these owners money. And they're going to make money. She's not going to be there to like really hold their hand or to do anything else, or they're not there to coddle to the players' feelings to a certain extent. And people think that she's going to be out or they're going to lose sponsors and stuff like that. Let me tell you, if the sponsors are okay with the deal and the players ain't hurting the brand, because there's a lot of players in the league. And a lot of players in the league is not just going to go along with because Napheesa said this. Because if a lot of players in the league don't feel that way, feel if they've been treated bad, then it's not going to work. So you can't just take it on one side and say that Fee said this and it's true. Because I've been on record and say I don't trust neither one of them. And I'm going to stand on it. I don't trust neither one of them. But I have to look at things in a better perspective. I can't just sit here and say, oh, well, it's a bad business move because to keep her on because of the players. But it's not all the players. It's just a few players that's complaining. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, she might not be the best representative of the league. But the owners don't think so. Adam Silver don't think so. They brought her in because her savvy business acumen. Now, Cathy Engelbert is smart to not attack in the media, because that's when you're in a big business like that, you don't need to retaliate in the media, especially knowing that the magnitude of what the league looks like, especially in this woke atmosphere. You don't want to do that. But you can always fight behind the scenes. You don't have to make it public. And see, when you're dealing with billionaires such as these owners, they're not going to come out and fight you straight up because you make comments or you defame the character of the league and Cathy Engelbert. They're not going to do that. They're going to take care of you behind the scenes. That's what they're going to do. This is what shrewd business people do. They're not going to come out in public and to show you that, oh, I need to tell you this, I need to say this. Nah, it doesn't work like that. They're going to get you behind the scenes and they're going to make you pay. Permanent period. I looked up to something today and said, hey, can the WNBA owners board of governors sue a player for definition of character? And guess what? The answer is they can. You know why? Because by making inflammable comments about the league, how the league is, you hurting the league, not just Cathy, but you hurting the owners. If the owners really, let me explain something to y'all, because I know a lot of people going to sit there and say, oh, well, there'll be an uproar and all of this. Let me tell you, shrewd businessmen do not care about your feelings. They don't care at all. And the fact of the matter is, if they really want to billionaires ain't going to lose money only to a certain amount. You know what I'm saying? My thing is that the deal is going to get done one way or the other. But as far as Cathy's job, she's not going nowhere. They're not going to fire her. And you know the reason why, and I said, I listen to people, I sit along and I think about stuff. They have to have a long history of Cathy Engelbert doing wrongdoing. Just because the referees are playing bad, the league owners run the league. They decide what's going on. Now, can they make some adjustment? They can doing some things. Yeah, they can. They can make some adjustment, and I do believe they will. I do believe they will. But at the end of the day, what has Cathy done? Truthfully, what has she really done besides refereeing and not being, likable to Caitlin Clark? What has she really done? Her 6 years in the league, what has she not done? What has she done to every player? Because if these players didn't speak up back then, why are they speaking up now? So you have to show a pattern of neglect. And if the sponsors or these big corporations didn't see a pattern of that, all they got to do is just go to Cathy and say, hey, we want you just to quiet the noise down, slap on the wrist, say, hey, just put this in place. Get them a little bit something. Go in the media, say a little something, just to get them all calmed down. Then once we get this agreement, we'll make a little changes here and there. They're not going to make drastic changes because you out there whining and complaining. And if you listen to Cathy's interview, she said there's a lot of emotion and feelings and so on. In other words, she really saying y'all need to start whining and complaining. That's it. That's what she really telling y'all. I'm gonna play this clip real quick for y'all, so y'all, because I know a lot of y'all done seen it, and I really haven't had a chance to dive into it and all this other stuff. So I really ain't had a chance to look into it real quick.
Malika Andrews, ESPN. I just wanted to get some clarity on some of the specifics that Napheesa Collier said about your conversation that you had that was previously private. Did you in fact say that, quote, players should be on their knees thanking their lucky stars for the rights deal that I got them?
And this is what ooh, this is gonna be funny. And this is what Cathy Engelbert responded to. This is what she responded to.
You don't have to answer that question.
I'll answer the question. You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
Yeah, that's pretty much Cathy's response. Y'all can't handle the truth.
There's a lot of inaccuracy out there through social media and all this reporting. And so I think what's most helpful is to focus on, I have been in touch with Napheesa. We've exchanged texts. We're talking next week. So I think obviously a lot of reporting, a lot of inaccuracy about what I said or what I didn't say. And I will tell you, I highly respect the players. There's a lot of emotion and passion going on right now because we're in collective bargaining, we're in the WNBA finals, and so I'll leave it there. I mean, I'm just obviously disheartened. You know, I'm a human too. I have a family. I have 2 kids who are devastated by these comments, and so all I'll say is just, you know, it's obviously been a tough week, and I just think there's a lot of inaccuracy out there.
Now, she said there's a lot of inaccuracy. She said there's a lot of inaccuracy on that subject. There's a lot of inaccuracy. And I'm sure y'all enjoyed that little Feel Good Men clip. You don't have to answer that. I'm going to answer it. You want answers? I want the truth. Guess what, players? Y'all can't handle the truth. And that's pretty much what it is. Because you got to think of this. Cathy is a businesswoman. She's a shrewd businesswoman. She doesn't shake from stuff. Yeah, players gonna come out because guess what, quote unquote, there are black players in the league. But at the end of the day, guess what though? Don't black players want to play in that league? See, the quote from Public Enemy is what? It takes million, takes 1,000 of the holders back, 1,000,000 to hold us back, something like that. If you really want to say, hey, okay, because they're not gonna walk out, they'll lock out, but they're not gonna walk out completely, because you got to think of the other players. And this is why I say you have to think of the other players in the league. The other players in the league are they don't make enough money like these players. If you see tomorrow when I do this video, you see what they had agreed to in that last collective bargaining agreement, you're gonna be like, these players are crazy, because the fact of the matter is they are so selfish, they are so entitled. Yeah, a lot of things in the league can be cleaned up. I get it. I'm with you. From the refereeing, players need to play better. I mean, there's a lot of things that need to be cleaned up. But everybody keeps saying, well, it's on Cathy. No, it's not on her. She's only doing what the owners tell her to do. If she goes out there and start changing this and the owners be like, I didn't tell you to do that, she's going to piss off her constituents. And they're going to feel like, okay, you're not doing what we hire you to do. You're doing something else. And guess what's going to happen? Then they'll remove her. But as long as she going along and doing what they want her to do, and they give just a little bit here and there, and she brings it to the table, I don't care less what the Players Association want to complain about. They're not going to get what they want. Point blank, period. They're not. Do they deserve? Yeah, they deserve a high raise. But when you go into a meeting and they offer you 4 times the pay and give you a 19%, that's a 10% increase on top of the 9% that you already have, and you turn it down, what do you think is going to happen in these meetings? Because all these people going to look at you and say, hey, you're ungrateful. You're never going to make the money that the NBA players are going to have. They already, man, I could go on deep into this situation so far, but I have to hold some of my information back until tomorrow, because the fact of the matter is this. I understand that Cathy is not the best person. Do I think she should go? Yeah. But do I think she's going to go? No. I'm a realist in this situation, because we done seen it from every other commissioner in all these bigger leagues. Because you don't like a person and you think the league a person could change. Cathy could change. She could tweak a little things, how she handles certain things. But the thing about it is, if you let me ask you a question. Have y'all ever been to a job, right? And you didn't like your boss and you wish your boss get fired because he's not doing certain things. And he gets fired and they bring somebody else in and he's 10 times worse than what you had. Sometimes the quick thing is say, it says, be careful what you ask for. And that's what the players need to be thinking. They need to be careful for what they asking for or who they trying to out. Because I guarantee you, at the end of the day, they're looking at you as well. Now, let me address the other part. It's the Caitlin Clark situation. All right. So that other part was, she said that she never said anything about Caitlin Clark. Whether she said it or not, don't really matter. You know what I'm saying? So, and she made it clear. She made it clear that she didn't say anything about Caitlin Clark. You know, oh, well, rather if she said this or she said that and everything like that, you know, about Caitlin Clark. You know what I'm saying? So let me get this into here real quick for y'all. Because the thing about it is that whether she wants to show some kind of,
wouldn't be making what they do off the court.
Yeah, obviously, I did not make those comments. Caitlin has been a transformational player in this league. She's been a great representative of the game. She's brought in tens of millions of new fans to the game, proud of what she's put on the court. Unfortunately, the injuries held her back from a full season this year. But again, I'm not going to get into every point, counterpoint. It's not productive here. We're here to celebrate the WNBA finals. I think what Indiana just did was amazing with all the injuries they had.
I'm going to go back real quick.
I am proud of what she's put on the court. Unfortunately, the injuries held her back from a full season this year. But again, I'm not going to get I am proud of what she's put on the court. Unfortunately, brought in tens of millions of new fans to the game, proud of
Tens of millions of new fans.
The injuries held her back from a full season this year. But again, I'm not going to get into every point, counterpoint. It's not productive here. We're here to celebrate the WNBA finals. I think what Indiana just did was amazing with all the injuries they had and the everything they faced this year, bringing that to a Game 5 in overtime. But yeah, as I said, there's a lot of inaccuracies reported out there. And I certainly did not say that.
All right. So she clarifies that she did not say that about Caitlin Clark or whatever. Whether it's true or not, it don't really matter. Because I think people are missing the bigger picture of this whole situation when it comes down to these agreements. And I said it before. I kept saying it. This is about the CBA. Other things do play a factor in it. It does. But this is about the CBA, because I said before, if the CBA was ending this year, you're not going to hear anything from these players. These players feel like, okay, I have Unrivaled. I'm in the business world. Napheesa thing, because her husband runs Unrivaled and he managed or whatever. That's probably his first time really taking on something like that. That doesn't mean you in the league with the big boys. And when I said the big boys, that's mean Cathy, Silver, and the owners. You're not on a level. You're not on a level. Cathy comes from a corporate world of business where she handled. Yeah, her communication with the players could be a little bit better. Yeah, I get it. But at the end of the day, they're not there to like you. They're there to manage you. Yeah, you saw her out here twerking and dancing with the players. She's having a good time with them. You know, maybe that's her way of trying to, connect with some players. But when you become a disgruntled player in the league, like Breanna Stewart, Napheesa Collier, Satu Sabally, your boss ain't going to want to deal with you. They don't want to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? They want to deal with somebody that's kind to. I'm sure Cathy and Caitlin probably never had a conversation except for the draft or, when she got that phone call for her Rookie of the Year. But I'm sure Cathy and Caitlyn gonna cross paths eventually, where they might have a conversation. But until that time, we will never know. But like I said before, and I'm gonna say it again, if Napheesa Collier feels that Cathy Engelbert have done so bad, you would have said something 2 years ago. You want to wait till Caitlin Clark came into the league, and y'all trying to capitalize on Caitlin Clark's buzz. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a problem 2 years ago or 6 years ago. It wasn't a problem. But all of a sudden, Caitlin came in the league. She's 2 years in. It's a problem. Or Cathy's the worst person in the world. She needs to go. We need better leadership because y'all ain't getting what y'all want. That's not how it works. Because you got to think about this. If you work at a job and you want a raise, but it's not in the budget to give you a raise right then, but they have to give everybody a raise, then if it's not what you think it should be desirable, guess what? That's what it is. You can either go play somewhere else or focus all your time into Rival. But I could tell you this, they will sign that deal. They might not sign it on the 31st, but I guarantee you that deal gonna get signed. And they gonna get they everything they trying to get, they're not gonna get it. And the players that's in the league that want to play in this league, guess what's gonna happen? They're gonna put pressure on the WNBAPA to get this deal done because you messing with their livelihood as well. That's something that's food for thought to think about. Like I said before, I ain't on Fee's side. I think she's phony. I'm not on Cathy's side because she's a shrewd businesswoman, and I know how they get down. They ain't gonna come into the media and just start with guns blazing because y'all, the fans, or the public want her to do that. She's not gonna do that. She's not gonna do that at all. They already told her. The owners already told her, don't go out there attacking. Play it smooth. We'll get it done behind closed doors. That's how business people move. So if you know anything about the mob, that's how the mob move. They might talk to you in a private, but I guarantee you, behind closed doors, they plan this to take you out. So Napheesa Collier, I think you should walk a tightrope right now and try to get this CBA done. All this a public attacking Cathy, it's only going to make it worse for you and others down the line. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, hit them likes. When you hit them likes, hit the hype points for me on this video. Until then, like I said, I do have a special video. And to all my subscribers, I have a special live stream for y'all tomorrow where I will be going live, but it will be a Q&A because y'all will get to ask me questions. So, should be fun. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire. It's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it. So official, like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire. Sports and entertainment.